Jalen Hurts gets his contract extension, 5 years, $255 million, just shy of $180 guaranteed. With this deal, he becomes the highest paid player in NFL history, $51 million in average annual value. Michael, when you saw this come down a little bit ago, what were your first impressions?
Well, I mean, I think it's wonderful for the kid who's overcome a lot of obstacles.
Oh, yeah.
He gets benched in a game. He doesn't, he's a team player. He's selfless. He's out there rooting for Tua, goes to Oklahoma, gets drafted. I really thought he overcame his inability to anticipate throws, which I'm still not sure he does, but the Eagles designed an offense around him that fits him perfectly, and give him credit for that. He's worked extremely hard. He's exactly the type of player you want to give a lot of money to because his work ethic and his devotion towards winning is second to none. So you got to love that. Now comes the important part here, right? Everybody says you can't pay a quarterback and go to the Super Bowl. Right? Everybody, even though Mahomes got that, everybody, you can't pay a guy. That's what they're saying about Lamar. Mm-hmm. My first reaction after the glorification of Hurts and his character would be, okay, Lamar, now we've seen 3 contracts. Yep. None of them have been fully guaranteed. Where are we going? Like if I'm Steve Bisciotti and Eric DeCosta and Sashi Brown, I'm getting on an airplane, I'm flying down to Lamar, and we're going to find out if they really want to sign him or if they just want to use him on the tender. We're going to find that out because there's really no more excuse. Hurts went to the Super Bowl, didn't get a fully guaranteed contract after Watson's deal. Mm-hmm. We're going to see.
Hurts not only went to the Super Bowl, like if you could give Super Bowl MVP to the losing team, like he would be the player you would give it to. He was the best player on the field in that game, just the way that he performed. So now talk me through how does this reset the market a little to an extent with Lamar? Because I very much so thought the next quarterback that was going to get a deal was, they're trying to get $200 million plus guaranteed, right? Because Kyler Murray got 189, which even that's a little bit odd to me that Jalen Hurts ends up getting less guaranteed money than Kyler Murray. But that's what the expectation has been.
Shows you how ridiculous the Kyler Murray contract is.
No
right?
doubt.
So if you're Lamar, you say back to Baltimore, you say, look, Kyler Murray did a deal 2 years early. That's why he took less guarantee. You say Russell Wilson's in his last year of his last contract. He was just willing to take whatever they're going to throw him. He took less guarantee. You can't say that about Hurts because Hurts is off his rookie deal. He's going to have another bite at the apple, assuming he stays healthy and plays at this level. He's going to have another bite at the apple, just like you're going to have, and he took this guarantee. So I think Burrow's contract comes in somewhat near this. I think clearly Herbert's contract, because the 2 people that are happiest about this contract are Mike Brown in Cincinnati, the Spanos family in Los Angeles, and frankly, Bisciotti and the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, and it goes to show, too, that once again, the DeSean Watson deal was an anomaly. The Browns were desperate. They were doing whatever they could to give him that guaranteed contract. That's not going to be like that's a one-off. That's not going to be the rule moving forward.
Right, and that's what makes Atlanta saying they're not interested in Lamar so strange, is because the only reason DeSean Watson is not an Atlanta Falcon today is because of the guarantee that Cleveland had to give to get back into the game. Remember, Cleveland got eliminated from the DeSean Watson Derby. They got eliminated. They got back into it because they came up with this contract that they were willing to guarantee $250 million totally. So, yeah, there's a lot of teeth to this deal, and it makes the other contracts a lot easier to do.
And another portion of this, too, and I wonder how much this played into the negotiation factor of having that, not meet the $200 million guaranteed threshold, was that his agent had them get the no trade clause, which is, I think, another element that shows that the Eagles care about their young quarterback, want to be invested in him. But
I think that's a chip you throw that you pretend it's hard to give, but you really don't care.
Really?
I mean, he's your quarterback. Why would you want to trade him? And if it goes bad with him, he's going to want to be traded and waive it. How many NBA players have no trade contracts and they get traded? Mm. I mean, it's like a fake. It's almost like I'm giving it to you, but it's really I could care less whether you have it or not.
Well, I'm thinking like for Derek Carr, for example, it worked out in his favor, right? That he got to set the market to an extent when he went out and free agency this year.
Yeah, to an extent, but I mean, like,
but he didn't have to take the trade to the Saints. He ends up going there and getting a deal separate.
Right, but I mean, at the end of the day, the Raiders played through that contract. He wasn't going to, they made a decision. What were they going to get from the Saints anyway? a Saturday pick.
Still something, though, versus nothing.
Yeah, I guess. But to me, I think it's a chip that doesn't really – he's your quarterback. If I got to trade my quarterback, then something's really wrong.
So now if you're Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, what are you thinking?
Thinking I'm going to try to get more, try to get as close to it. Now, here's the thing. Hurts comes with a Super Bowl. So does Burrow. So they're very similar. Hurts has to overcome not being a first selection. He wasn't in the first round. So his contract was only 4 years. So he had a chance to come earlier. But I think this is the market. These deals typically are easy to do because you have a market. The market is here. Here's what every of these top quarterbacks are making. So you have a kind of a boundary. You have a landscape. You have a foundation to make a deal. They're easy to do. Quentin Williams' deal with the Jets. He's not coming to camp. That's an easy deal for the Jets to do. They have Jeffrey Simmons just did a deal. They have Payne just did a deal. So these guys are contemporaries. When contemporaries do deals, you say, okay, here's the deals. Here's the structure. All right. What do you want on average per year? What's the guarantee? And you basically you're in the same ballpark to do the deal. It's easier. I might give you more guarantee. I might take less per year. Those are the kind of things, but the structure and the foundation of a deal.
With Quentin Williams, is that just not getting done at this point because of the Aaron Rodgers
I think
portion?
so. I said that today on the pod, Stormy. I thought that, the Jets are probably saying to Quentin, he's going to get a deal. He's one of their best. He is their best player. Look, until we figure out until we get Rodgers in here, we'll deal with you.
It's crazy he's at the point already where he can get a contract extension. I feel like it was just yesterday where he's at the draft and he's going through all these questions and he sneezes and blesses himself. That was one of my favorite things about it. But, he's obviously turned into just a bear of a player really in the NFL.
Yeah, he is. And so I think, to me, he'll get his deal. So those deals at this level, at this high level, are easy to do. It's the deals that haunt you are the ones where you're paying a good player way too much money. Mm-hmm. That's the ones that you really have a hard time with. Now, again, it's going to be interesting because can the Eagles, they have all their players signed, how the Eagles operate now with their cap, with having this much money. What is his cap number this year? What's his cap number over the next 3 years? The benefit that the Eagles do have is these 2 first-round picks will be cheap, will be economic value for them for the next 5 years.
If you're looking in, the crystal ball for the Eagles, what do you see?
Well, I think they have to add more defensive players. I think if they could get if Jalen Carter gets there at 10, they're taking him completely. The Eagles are going to go back to their methodology, rebuild the offensive and defensive lines.
Awesome. And like you said, going back to your very first point about Jalen Hurts, I'm really happy for him that he gets this deal done, being benched in the national championship game with Alabama, and everybody, even going into this season, really counting him out and not believing that he could do what he did.
And I'm still of the opinion, not trying to say I've proven myself right, but if the Eagles don't tailor this offense to the six-back attack, there's no way Hurts couldn't go to a West Coast offense and be great. He got this because he's a runner in a six-back offense. He's tough, and he makes throws, and they surrounded him with a supporting cast.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.